Live from the Golden Rule in Georgetown, Texas, this is the Eagle Nation Coaches Show with head coach Chuck Griffin. The Golden Rule, the official sponsor of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, is located at 606 South Church Street in Georgetown, Texas. Eats, drinks, unmatched atmosphere. Above all else, goodwill, friendship, and kind regard. And now, here's your host, the voice of your Georgetown Eagles, Wally Harmon.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Eagle Nation Coaches Show live at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street, the sponsor of your Eagle Nation Coaches Show each and every week. Shout out to Cody Hurt, Tommy McCormick, and the staff here, especially our private attendant at the bar, Nina, with us again tonight.
Yeah, Nina.
Thanks for joining us again for the Georgetown Eagle Coaches Show. We come back on week 2. 2-0, boys. I'm Wally Harmon, joined by Kelly Duvall. Doppler Dave England joins us tonight. Guys, what a slow start it seemed like, a battle in the first half, and Georgetown came out in the second half and left no doubt.
Yeah, and it was nice to see they faced some adversity, but they were really able to make some changes, fight through that adversity, and come away with a pretty convincing win against the 6A team in the Vista Ridge Rangers.
Great to be back at home at Birkelbach, great weather, and Parents' Night. So it was a good victory. It's always nice to go 1-0 each week.
We talked about Jackson Harold, the athletic quarterback for Vista Ridge last week with Coach Griffin, and we saw that on display, able to scramble when he needed to scramble an arm to make things happen. Quite the athlete there as a senior quarterback. He's in the same situation as we see our own quarterback in Tucker Griffin, a senior, first year at the helm starting. But an athlete that it runs the team well and did a good job. But this defense totally shut things down in the second half. You saw a lot of plays getting made, a lot of frustration. That opening drive of the second half, they take it from their 25 all the way down, and then it's a goal line stand, and the defense keeps them to a field goal.
Right.
And it was totally – it felt like it depleted them from that point forward. Our offense responds, and all of a sudden things just continue to get better. I guess the story goes back to your running game takes over. Andrew Petter, another great night, 221 yards rushing, 3 TDs, a TD through the receiving as well. And so it's just when the offense is in control and putting points on the board, the defense seems to just show out and get them the ball back and let them go back to work.
In the second quarter, Vista Ridge really tried hard to take the momentum away and put some points on the board, took the lead, but the defense did a good job at the end of the second half, shutting them down, keeping them out of the end zone, keeping them from getting another field goal before the end of the half. And then whenever the second half starts, the offense turns it on. The defense really picks it up, holds them to no touchdowns in the second half, just 2 field goals in the second half, and that was really the difference. We had a couple of drops on the interceptions, and that's why our cornerbacks are cornerbacks and not wide receivers. But a couple of drops there, but complete game because special teams did some amazing stuff. Defense played really well. Offense played really well. And, of course, you already mentioned Andrew's game.
And then you flip to the special team side of it. You have a new kicker step in this year as a kicker and the punter, Aaron Guzman. Only 1 extra point miss, and it went off of the upright. But doing a great job there. Not punting a lot. Only 1 punt the other night. This offense is just putting themselves in position to score, putting up a lot of points each and every week so far. But then you look at the defensive stats that we got earlier in the week. So many names in there with multiple tackles. It's not like you're getting 5 or 6 names that have 1 tackle. You're getting guys with 14 tackles, 11 tackles, a lot of tackles for loss. The momentum and the thought process that Coach and they've instilled in them of hats flying to the ball, they truly bring that around.
9 helmets 90% of the time, and that's where we're seeing those. That's why you see so many names on that.
Yeah, and you've got 10 players that have 4 or more tackles on that defense. So it's fun to watch. They swarm to the football, and you guys know I like that old school style. that's the kind of defense I like to see on a grass field with it raining and muddy and everybody spitting and I love it.
You go back to special teams; they got the one blocked, but also the others were almost blocked, and it's fun to see that speed and that aggression. Just it's an extra point, but they're still going after it, and they're going after the field goals and extra points. So it's fun to see them getting after it.
This week it totally turns, though. We go from two teams that we faced in Copper's Cove and in Vista Ridge that the quarterbacks are in control. They run they have their options. They can run the ball. They can pass. They both could run. To now a Liberty Hill team that comes in with a slot T offense. They're a powerhouse. They're a state semifinalist finalist from last year. State runners up again, and they continually to have a good program. And so it'll be a battle Friday night there at Liberty Hill. And the PA announcer made it known Friday night, and we want to share that word. Everyone going to the game wear white. Georgetown's going to try to white out their stadium. They'll come in their fancy little purple and gold, and hopefully there will be a flood of white, a good travel. We're just down the road, the Battle of Highway 29, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be an old-fashioned, just a great football game from two different styles of offenses, and it'll be fun to watch this defense change and react in 1 week. You go from a shooting offense, Jackson Harrell liking to throw, but yet the running game used to a team that will run the ball. I think someone likened it to Liberty Hill this year as passing the ball twice as much as last year, so we should expect 2 passes in the game. Yeah. And so it's a totally different look and a lot of running that will come at the defense this week.
It's exciting to watch, and again, there wasn't as much experience coming back this year, but this team does not look like an inexperienced football team. They're playing really well, and I'm loving what I'm seeing.
I love the work of the defensive line.
Yeah.
That's really shown out watching the games and watching what they're doing to control it, to allow the linebackers to hit those gaps, make the tackles. And then you see one of the safeties and defensive back, Thomas Scholes with 10 tackles, coming up on the run, making contact, making hits. So the linemen are doing their job. They're getting that push, and the linebackers and the defensive backs responding, getting hats to the ball, making the tackles.
For 2 weeks in a row, the quarterbacks on other teams have just been running for their lives, and that's awesome.
2 sacks on the night, Obina and Valenta getting their sacks to right up the middle, and so the pressure is still there to make Jackson Harrell, especially later in the game, having to run more to avoid the sacks and to throw on the run. And so good things out of it. Fun to watch a game like that, to dominate a team like Vista Ridge, 2 6A opponents. You see what Copper's Cove then turned around and did last week. And they hung a big win on Eastview, and so they're a good team. They're athletic, and they're not just someone that you can beat around. And so 2 good wins going into this important non-district game to finish up non-district season before we turn the card over and head to a tough district.
Well, and this game that's coming up between us and Liberty Hill, that's a game that's going to grow and grow and grow if we continue to play, because at some point we may wind up in a district with them together. And that's a good rivalry, great test, because they're perennial state finalists and constantly making deep runs into the playoffs, literally. With that running game that they have. So it's going to be a fun game to watch, and I'm excited for it.
We'll take a quick timeout, and then we'll be joined by head coach Chuck Griffin and talk to him about last week's game and the upcoming game against Liberty Hill. We're live here at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street. Be right back with the Eagle Nation Coaches Show.
The Golden Rule, the official sponsor of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, is located at 606 South Church Street in Georgetown, Texas. Eats, drinks, unmatched atmosphere. Above all else, goodwill, friendship, and kind regard.
Back here live at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street, the host of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, and we're joined now, myself, Kelly Duvall, joined by head coach Chuck Griffin. Coach, A great win Friday night against Vista Ridge.
Yes, sir, it was. It was a good win. It was great to get out there and face a little bit of adversity and face a tough 6A team and come out with a win.
We talked about it on the show as we went into halftime. The one thing that you and your coaching staff have always done is made adjustments at halftime. And it showed this week. The adjustments were made, and the players reacted to that. Totally, it seemed like just a different grind and a different flow to that game, first half to second half.
Yeah, I think we missed on a couple of things in the first half. Just kind of kept us down a little bit, and our coaches were able to make some adjustments. And more importantly, our players were able to make some adjustments in that second half and really change the mindset. And I challenged them, if we can get a stop and get a score, we'll control the rest of the ball game if we can do that, and we were able to do that.
We talked about it. Kelly mentioned it. Dropped interceptions. We figured Coach Nicky had to be going crazy in the first half. Garrett Lloyd makes the interception in the second half, rolls up in the fetal position, holds on to the ball, was not letting it go.
Yeah.
How do you guys, as a coaching staff, keep that from killing momentum for these kids when something like that happens?
Well, I mean, it's a pass breakup. It's still a stat. It's still a good play, and it's still a good defensive stat. So, we had to see the one tip ball that turned into a touchdown. Those are tough to see, but those kind of things happen from time to time, But, man, our kids were where they were supposed to be, either making plays on the ball, and we'll get better catching it. That's just part of the game. Happens.
Did Vista Ridge do anything that surprised y'all?
I think they were a little better in the offensive line than we saw on film. And then we also think, they played a little tighter coverage. They played it with a different corner.
Right.
We'd only seen him for a few plays, and number one had not played very much in the scrimmage in the first game. And and the expectation is too that you're going to make your biggest jump between week 1 and week 2. And they made a big jump. I mean, they were a much improved football team, and they're going to be tough to handle. Their JVs were good. Their freshman teams were good. They're going to be a tough team to handle in the future for sure.
So with the running game that has shown itself in both our first 2 games, how much confidence does that give in play calling whenever you've got just such a solid running attack that opens up that passing game just naturally?
I mean, that's a big thing. If you can run the football, you can win games. We talk about you got to be able to make stops defensively, and you got to be able to run the football. And if you can do that, then you can control the game. And we're able to get out there and throw for over a couple hundred yards, and that was big. But that's because we were running the football. I mean, we still had over 400 yards of offense in both games, and that's Coach Beatty and our other coaches doing a really good job, and our kids getting out there and executing.
When Vista Ridge comes out in the second half, their first possession in the second half took almost half of the quarter, and then we hold them to a field goal. Talk about that for your
that was really big. They had a couple of big plays, in there, and got us in a position where we're in a bind. And they got a first and goal from the 4, and then all of a sudden they got a second and goal from the 2. And able to hold them out, and third down was really big. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, and Jacob Faltasek scrapes over the top and makes a hit at the line of scrimmage. But, it's kind of in a position where he's not in a great position to keep that guy out of the end zone. But he makes a hit, and then all of a sudden you've got 2, 3, 4 more guys coming up to make a hit, to make a stop, and we hold them to field goal, which is really big. And then I think following up with a score and then a blocked field goal, that just kind of changed the momentum of the game. That little series of events right there.
It seemed like all 3 facets of the game played huge against Vista Ridge. Offense played well, no turnovers, I believe. Defense played well.
We had one offensive turnover.
And defense plays well, a couple of sacks. And then special teams, you get the field goal block. Aaron Guzman, again, just staying hot in his new role of taking over as the kicker for this team. How important is that, especially getting into a game like this against Liberty Hill and then going into district, that all 3 phases seem to be clicking?
I mean, if you want to be a championship football team, you got to be good at all 3 phases. That's just part of the deal. So, our guys being able to go out there and execute and do a few different things at the kicking game, and we let one extra point get away from us there, but we'll get better at that, and not having to punt the ball, that's big, and so I'm just proud of our guys and what they're able to do, and taking coaching and getting out there and executing.
Totally different offense we're going to face this week with Liberty Hill.
Yep.
We talked about it last year. it's always that topic. Everyone that faces Liberty Hill knows it's just
Sure.
a totally different scheme to prepare for. How's the week gone in preparation, knowing that we're looking at something totally different?
Well, you know, I think we've had a pretty good week of preparation, pretty good week of practice, and our kids have responded well. It's a different scheme, so, you know, you're going to see us play a different defensive scheme. You'll see some guys that normally are on the field are not going to play much this Friday just because it's a totally different scheme. And you're going to see some guys that don't play very much play a lot this week. We've got to play with some more guys on the defensive front and some more linebackers in the game to be able to stop what they do. And the big deal for us is we talked about this week is to be mentally tough enough to follow your assignment regardless. You know, you got to really play assignment football on what they do because you don't know if it's fullback carrying the ball or the quarterback or the running back or is the halfback going to pull up and throw. There's so many facets to what they do that everybody's got an assignment, everybody's got a job, and everybody's got to do their part. So I think that's the big thing for us this week from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, I think it's more the same. They're a 3-4 defense like we saw the first week. You know, we just got to control what we can control, go out and execute, and that's the big thing from us is not worry about them, just worry about us and take care of our business.
So on the defensive side of the ball with a team like Liberty Hill, a lot of times whenever you're playing these wide open offenses that are so common right now, you're trying to collapse that pocket, but correct me if I'm wrong, on a rushing game, on a rushing team like Liberty Hill, it's more about rushing up the field, staying in your lanes, containing on the outsides.
Yeah, not necessarily. We'll do some spilling where we're going to try to spill it to a linebacker or a safety, and then also we'll do some boxing where we're going to try to keep everything in. Just depends on where it is on the field and who's got that assignment. But you know, really trying to keep them from outflanking us is the big deal. We can't let them get on the perimeter, let them get on the edge.
When they get to that second level, it's trouble.
Yeah, for sure, and it's because of that. It's because of their scheme and what they do.
Right.
We're so aggressive and we're so up the field that if they get to the second level, yeah, you can find yourself in trouble.
How does the rule change this year about the no-cut blocking within the tackle box affect an offense like the slot team?
It's big. You know, in our state meeting this summer, they were the primary example of what you cannot do anymore. You know, they played in the state championship game, so they got them a lot of traction, a lot of, oh man, look at this, and so their film was a primary example of what you can't do. So that's going to be a point of emphasis. They've changed some things, knowing that they can't do those things anymore. You know, they still get away with one every now and then, and you know, they're even. I think in the first game, either 8 or 9 illegal procedures called on them because of their rolling start. That's been another point of emphasis this week. So. They were a little bit different last week versus Hutto. So, you know, they've got some challenges in their game plan and what they've been able to do. They call it the slot team mafia. You know, and what those guys have coached all these years, they've got to change some things up.
Now, Leander Glenn, the new coach that came in last year, don't they run a form of this slot team?
Yeah,
So
they run a
might
version
see
of
later?
it. They run a version of it. It's from the gun and more of a spread concept, but the same type of offense. Yeah, I mean, this is a good game for us to see and to prepare for later in the season. And, you know, eventually Liberty Hill is going to be in our district at some point. So, I mean, that was another point of emphasis of playing them early and let's go ahead and get our mind wrapped around defending this a little bit.
Well, and Marble Falls has gone to it now, too.
Yeah.
I saw some of their highlight footage the other day, so it's becoming more and more popular. Funny how it just comes back around. We're going to be seeing a wishbone soon.
Yeah.
It's a different offense you kids have never heard of. It's okay. Texas ran it in the 60s and 70s. How important as we get ready this game, and then we have the nice thing is we have a bye week after this, and then we start district. How key is it to try to stay healthy through this game so we get to district and this team is at 100%? I mean, it's close to 100.
Yeah, I mean, staying healthy is always key. It doesn't matter what point of the season you're in. Staying healthy is big. So I think that's a huge part of our of being successful is being able to stay healthy. You know, and then next week having the week off, or if we do have any little bumps or bruises, we can give some people rest if we need to. But I mean, we plan to practice and continue to get better. Our mindset is we try to go 1-0 every day. We try to go 1-0 every play, so that at the end of the week you can be 1-0. You know, so that's kind of our mindset that we have all the time, and we'll continue the same thing next week.
Friday night, we're live at Liberty Hill High School. 7 p.m. is the kick. Everyone come out. Now, a new thing to share with you tonight. Dave and I made a visit down to a local sports bar called Hard Counts across town. On Friday nights, if you can't join us, I think Mesquite Creek has talked about doing it. Now hard counts. We'll be having the game live on the TV and putting up the SHN broadcast. We sat there and visited with them last night and got it all squared away. We're going to send them the link. And so options, it's so cool to see this town get around and support these kids and want to be a part of that, to give people a place to go if they can't get to the game. If they're close by, they can always go somewhere and watch it and enjoy an atmosphere. How big is it, these crowds that keep turning out for these boys to fuel their fire as they perform?
I mean, that's huge. Anytime you've got community support and you've got a good showing, it's going to be great. I've been in some stadiums when there's not anybody there, and it's tough to coach in those, tough to play, tough to be motivated. And we've got a great group of parents and followers, a great group from Sun City, and then having the Blue Crew there, they do a great job of showing up and supporting. I was really happy with how we traveled to Cove, and I think we'll travel that way this week to Liberty Hill too.
I'm glad you brought up the Blue Crew, man. The student section this year, the Blue Crew is just doing an outstanding job of packing that place and being really loud.
Yep.
So tip of the cap to the Blue Crew for what they're doing. They're really doing a fantastic job.
Go to the defensive side. We look at the stats. The three linebackers that we call a lot, Landry Leggett, Jacob Faltasek, and Lewis. 34 tackles between the three of them in a game like this against Vista Ridge. I don't think as a coach you're surprised. It seems like this defense is just responding so well to Coach Nicky, the scheme, and to each other into becoming a pretty tight-knit unit.
Yeah, and they are. They've had a really good start to the season, and they understand the scheme and what we're trying to do. There's a lot of energy on defense, and our kids are running the football, and that's the main thing, man. Run and tackle, and if you can run and you can tackle, you're going to be in good position. So, our kids have responded really well, and our entire defensive front has played exceptional for the first two games.
Coach, we know you got to leave a little bit early tonight from the coaches show, but I wanted you to talk a little bit about why you're leaving. The Texas High School Coaches Association is selecting an all-state team. Is that correct?
They're doing something called the Super Elite Team. They don't get to do the game anymore.
Right.
It caused some issues with the NCAA coaches coming to our convention because they couldn't be around the kids during that time frame. So they've done away with the All-Star game, so they really haven't picked anything back up. And this year they're going to be selecting what they call the Super Elite Teams, basically an all-state team from the Texas High School Coaches Association. And I'll be our region representative for 5A. And we got our first meeting tonight here in a few minutes.
Good. Congratulations on that selection.
Thank you.
Speaks volumes.
So we'll get Coach out of here. We're live here at the Golden Rule, sponsors of your Eagle Nation Coaches Show. We'll take a break. We're going to come back. We've got a couple of interviews tonight. We've got Andrew Petter and we got Jacob Faltasek that we're going to interview tonight live here at the Coaches Show.
Great crowd here at the Coaches Show, too. Thank you all for coming.
So we'll take a quick break. Be back with more of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show live here on SHN.
The Golden Rule, the official sponsor of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, is located at 606 South Church Street in Georgetown, Texas. Eats, drinks, unmatched atmosphere. Above all else, goodwill, friendship, and kind regard.
we're back here live at the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, live from the Golden Rule. 606 South Church Street. Good to see the athletic director, Jason Dean, in the house tonight with us. Coach came and visited with us during halftime on Friday night at the game, and looking forward to, we talked about the impending battle royal between Eastview when it comes in a big home. The stadium will be full, and so that was a good conversation, and thanks to Coach Dean for joining us. Now we're joined by the running back of this team, number 22, Andrew Petter. Andrew, thanks for joining us tonight. 2 weeks in a row, well over 150 yards, 170 in week 1, 221 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns on the season now between rushing and receiving. It seems like these holes are just you're finding them, slipping them. You're creating holes. How's it feeling coming from behind beside Tucker as soon as you get that ball? It seems like everything seems to open up for you, and you're just hitting holes like crazy this year.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty easy when you get guys like Broden and Boot and Geggs and Erat and Nelson blocking for me. They create the holes. I just got to make one guy miss and keep running. Speaking
of making one guy miss, there was one run against Vista Ridge. You get a block. We watched it last night several times. Mr. Weisheimer got a kick-out block. You came around the end and then ended up making about 9 of the 11 defensive players miss on a couple of big cutbacks. Are runs like that funner, or do you look for contact and want to run over people?
I like hitting people a lot. Downhill runs they're more fun than getting on the outside.
Now, and you say that, and I have no reason not to believe it because we've watched it and enjoyed watching it. But then you have that big 60-yard run for a touchdown against Vista Ridge. This year from last year, as you went from your sophomore year to your junior year, seems like you've gotten bigger and stronger. Is the speed picking up, and you feel like you're just able to pull away from people, or what's different from this year as you've come in as a junior and the running game is now focused on you as the main back there? Not as much in the slot anymore as we saw a lot last year. What's it like different for you this year as you've gone to the kind of the feature back in the backfield for the Eagles?
Well, from last year to this year, I feel like my vision after all the practices, I've gotten a lot better with that. So more vision, more holes. Hit them harder.
You go from 17 or 18 carries in week 1, 29 carries this week. You want the ball as many times as they'll give it to you, or at a certain point is it, hey, that's enough, give someone else the ball?
No, I love getting the ball. Red Desert, every play.
That's awesome. So does it when Tucker decides to drop back or Tucker keeps it, is it a conversation in the huddle then? Hey, feed me the rock.
Yes. I like to tell Coach Beatty, run Road Desert a little more.
That's good. Open communication between you and Coach Beatty is always important. On the receiving side, this offense has Drayton Dickman on one side, Marquise Dominguez, and now you've seen other players, Holubeck getting a couple of passes where he's got that speed to break. It's fun to watch him when he gets a ball and how shifty and quick he is. And then still hitting you on a swing pass in and out. You come away with a receiving touchdown again or this week and a couple receptions. Do you enjoy catching that ball, or is it mainly just focus on you want to run?
I mean, yeah, I played a lot of slot last year, so caught more passes than I did carries. So catching the ball is definitely fun, but being running back now, getting more carries is a lot more exciting.
This week we go against a team like Liberty Hill, a battle royal game. A lot of running will be done on their side. The focus will be to try to battle that, but then on the offensive side, continue to do our thing. How exciting is a game like this for you guys as a team to face a team like Liberty Hill? Their reputation precedes them. They're a good program. They continually go into the playoffs. They make runs. They're the state runner-up from last year. Is that to give you guys momentum and fuel to go out and try to knock them off in a week like this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, losing last year, didn't really do great on offense. Probably could have finished a lot of drives. So this year the goal is score every drive, no turnovers.
A junior running this in an offense with a bunch of seniors, looking towards next year. You come back, you'll be one of, if not the main returning starter on the offense in the backfield and receiving core. How do you see that, and how do you look forward to that, to be that leader as you've stepped in here as obviously as one of the leaders of this offense, a returning starter in your junior year, but with Tucker at the helm and your two wide receivers that are both returning starters? How do you see that as a leader, as a junior, but yet looking forward to next season when you become back as a senior as one of the main leaders on this team?
Yeah, well, it's gonna be fun next year. We're gonna have a lot of guys returning, so I think we'll have a good team.
Your challenge this year as a junior, any different being considered a leader, a returning starter on this offense, one that has a lot of experience, game experience at the varsity level compared to some others? Do you like that role to be looked at as a leader?
Yeah, I mean, as a running back, I gotta lead, and as an offensive player, I gotta help out the team.
Andrew Pettert, so far through the year, I'm going to try to add this real quickly, 391 yards, I believe it is officially on the ground. Statesman coach was telling us right before he left, the leading rusher in the Syntax area, which speaks volumes. You've got a Quentin Joyner at Manor that's committed to USC. You've got great running backs in this area. Do you put pressure on yourself at all running this, or is it just you're having fun playing a game and want to just do your best?
I mean, at the end of the day, the stats, they don't really matter. As long as we're winning games, it's fun.
How does it feel this year to go 2-0, looking at Liberty Hill and a chance to go 3-0 before you go into district, as in last year? A tough couple of losses in the preseason, the non-district, I guess it's called, before you got into district. Is the atmosphere continuing to build that momentum for you guys with a couple of wins under your belt?
Definitely. I mean, it's a lot easier when coming Saturday workouts after a win, but we just got to stay focused and keep winning games.
Andrew Pettert, your starting tailback, running back, do-all, Mr. Do-all for this offense. He's done a great job. 7 touchdowns on the year so far, almost 400 yards rushing. Any shout-outs before we let you go?
Shout out my O-line and Ferda.
We'll take a quick break. Be back with Jacob Faltasek here on the Eagle Nation Coaches Show.
The Golden Rule, the official sponsor of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, is located at 606 South Church Street in Georgetown, Texas. Eats, drinks, unmatched atmosphere. Above all else, goodwill, friendship, and kind regard.
Back here live at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street, the host of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show. Thanks so much to Cody Hurt, Tommy McCormick, and the whole staff here at the Golden Rule for bringing us in each and every week for the Eagle Nation Coaches Show. They put on a great show for us. Thanks for the turnout. What a great turnout again tonight. And so it's fun to be here. A great atmosphere here locally in Georgetown as they support this program. And now we're joined by one of the linebackers, one of the defenders here on this. And also, I'm going to say it because I got to call it, one of the state champion baseball members of the 5A state champion Georgetown Eagles, Jacob Faltasek. Thanks for joining us tonight, Jacob.
Thank you.
It seems like a short summer for you and for Brandon Stovall and Luke Colley and the Eagle baseball program. Didn't get much rest. It was the baseball ended June 11th. The excitement just it still continues in our house as we look back on it and watch videos and watch some of those games. And we were just chatting with you off air about that final play and the way it ended against Friendswood. Now we go to football. How different is it for you? The workouts are different. The sport is different, but yet it seems like the drive for you continues to just be super high.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Baseball, people call it organized rest, especially these football guys. So going from baseball to football is definitely a big change. Workouts are a lot harder, but it's good. It's good. I like it.
Watching number 8 fire off through the middle, 14 tackles the other night against Vista Ridge. We've called your name, you, Landry Leggett, in Lewis. We were talking to Coach about the linebackers, you 3 linebackers. And then I started reading through some of these, seeing some of the backup linebackers in there, Seth Warren with a tackle and other tackles in here being recorded. But you 3 seem to be just flying to the ball at all points. It's like you guys are super in sync with each other as the linebackers. How is that on the field? Does it seem you guys have something going that no one's going to really understand but you 3? It just seems to be magical watching this.
Yes, sir. We couldn't do it without those big bodies up front. Jug and Valenta keeping those offensive linemen off of us really helps us to get free, shoot our gaps, and make the tackle.
It seems like a lot of speed comes into play between you 3 linebackers and the 2 ends. We talked to Tyler Duncan last weekend, and then you got Brandon Stovall over on the other end. A lot of speed coming off the ends, and then the linebackers. All 3 of you guys seem to fly to the ball a lot. But then, speaking of Jug and Valenta, and just sit there and watch them. They plug that middle up and drive that offensive line back, but still end up with 8 tackles, 6 tackles. But then you 3 guys just cleaning up everything. How fun is that for you as a linebacker? And how fun is it now to take that comparison from football, from baseball, that every play you're getting a chance to fly to the ball. You're looking to hit somebody, to take the ball carrier down, the receiver down. How much fun is that for you in the change of pace?
Well, it's definitely fun having those guys do their job and just let you play free, run to the ball as fast as you can. I mean, different pace. You don't have to play slow, just free.
Any inner linebacker challenges between you 3? Who's going to get the most tackles? Or is it just a challenge to, hey, be the best you can because we're going to be right there with them hitting?
Well, we just got to do our job. I wouldn't say it's a competition, but, I mean, it's always there.
They keep stats for a reason,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Exactly. And y'all don't look at those, right?
Yeah,
sometimes.
sometimes.
We'll always let y'all know about them because we get them the next day. It's awesome to see. But to look at the linebacking core this year, as you 3 guys step in was one of the returning starters on this defense, and he stepped up the way you and Landry now, both Landry being a junior stepping in. You guys seem to just – it's like the middle of the field is controlled by you 3. And so it's fun to watch as you guys feed off of that and the pressure that Obina and Valenta get up front with Stovall and Duncan around the ends. And so as we go to a team like Liberty Hill, the running game comes at you guys a lot different now. You know, it's no hidden secret. They will run the ball, and they will run it at you all night long. How do you guys prepare for that mentally, physically, and during the week to get ready for something like this?
We just got to trust our keys to take us to the ball. Like our coaches said, 95% of those keys are going to be right. They're rarely going to give us a false key. So as long as we run to the football, make our tackles, it'll be good.
As you look at football and you continue through your senior year here, coming off a fantastic junior year in baseball, now we go into football and you're having a great senior year in football. Does that continue on for baseball one more season before you graduate? Or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. It's good to see because I know Luke Hawley, Brandon Stovall, yourself, all big parts of the baseball team. I've been watching through the summer. Brandon is also just got an offer baseball-wise. And so it's fun to watch you guys come out in totally different sport in the speed of the sport comparative. But from watching one sport to come out and be so dominant in the way you guys are putting in the effort and making plays, it's such a fun part to see it from someone that gets to call all these games. What's your favorite part about this season right now? You guys sit at 2-0. It seems like this defense just continues to get better, get stronger every game. Is it a challenge from Coach Nicky in this new scheme that you guys have come in, a new coach and a new system, or Is it just you players have decided, hey, it's time to go and we're going to leave it all out there?
I definitely think Coach Nicky brings a lot of energy, and we have this thing 9-5-90, 9 players to the ball, or 9 players within 5 yards of the ball 90% of the time, and we get graded on it. And if we don't meet our goal, we have to run for that. So he definitely pushes us to run to the football.
So there is an incentive.
Yes,
all
sir.
Right, so
Tell us about the trash can.
Yes, that's a good question. I forgot about that.
That's our turnover can. So for every turnover, we put our ball in there, and whoever gets the turnover, whether interception, fumble recovery, whatever it is, we put our number, or he puts our number on the lid, and then we get to sign the trash can that Saturday.
There's been a couple times it's almost bounced into the stand.
Oh, yeah.
He chunks it. I'm like, look out,
He gets
cheerleaders.
fired up. He gets fired up.
Any plans after Georgetown?
I don't know yet.
Any shout-outs before we let you go?
Shout out my parents. Shout out Coach Nicky, Coach Brez, and thank y'all for having me.
Jacob Faltasek, number 8, your linebacker, joins us tonight. We'll take a quick break. Be back with more of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show live here at the Golden Rule. And we're back here live at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street, host of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show. And now it's trivia time. The offense, 4-1 last week. They picked the NBA. So the questions tonight will come via 5 questions from NBA trivia. I put these together at 5 o'clock this morning. And some of these are going to test y'all's knowledge on the NBA. Coach Beatty has joined us, the offensive coordinator, as Coach Griffin stepped out. And so Coach Beatty will be at the mic, and he will read our questions off one at a time. And then first one, so I need help watching the hands go up. Who gets it? Offense, defense. Then you guys just grab a headset, speak into the mic, and give an answer. Question number 1, Coach Beatty. Oh, hold
on. All right, number 1, what NBA team drafted Kobe Bryant?
That is incorrect.
That is incorrect. No shot.
When I wrote this one, I was kind of excited about it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You get a free guess, so it doesn't matter.
76ers.
That's
Nope.
incorrect.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Right.
Yeah, traded, drafted Kobe Bryant. They're over here saying the Kings. I saw that. So,
All right, number 2.
all right, question number 2.
All right, who holds the record for the most NBA Finals MVPs?
Offense.
Michael Jordan.
That is correct.
That is correct. Offense has 1-0. Coach
All right.
Beatty, question 3.
Number 3, who was the number 1 draft pick in the 2003 NBA draft?
LeBron James.
LeBron James is right. All right. yeah. All right, number 4.
Question 4.
What NBA player has averaged a triple-double for an entire season?
All right.
Russell Westbrook.
That's right.
Yes, very good. Very good. So 2-1. All right, question number 5.
All right, which NBA team has won the most NBA championships?
Celtics.
No, sir.
Incorrect.
The Lakers.
The Lakers, that's right.
The Lakers. So trivia night 2. The offense wins again 3-1. So we just need one more question asked. What is the sport for next week? The NBA and the NFL are out. MLB, MLS. All right, next week we'll go with the Major League Baseball, and the offense is leading 2-0 or 7-2 at this point. So we'll take a quick break, come back with Mr. Petter and the Booster Club update, and here on the Georgetown Eagle Nation Coaching Show live on SHN. Back here for the final part of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show live from the Golden Rule. And now we're joined by Mr. Greg Petter, the president of the Georgetown Eagle Football Booster Club. And just like to get every week, we want to get an update. And so just the state of the Booster Club address from you for this week and where the Booster Club is and anything going on and what the happenings that need to be put out there we try to share.
Yeah, we've been having a really good turnout at the Booster Club meetings and even at the tailgate that we had last week before the game. We ate all the food, so we're going to need to ask them to bring more next time. And then this week we're going to be meeting. Of course, we're on the road. We'll be meeting at Margarita's which is right around about a mile or so from Seward Junction. So we meet there about 4:30 to 5. Come as soon as you can, and we'll eat some good food.
Margaritas on Highway 29 before you get to Seward Junction for the pregame tailgate. 4:30 to 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock kickoff, not far down from the stadium there in Liberty Hill. It was fun to watch, to look at and see how crowded, how well the turnout was for the tailgates. How was the presentation for the boys when they did their walkthrough? It seemed like it was a pretty good one for the first week. We were still up in the booth trying to work out the kinks. How did that look for them?
It was pretty good. They came through a little bit earlier than expected. The band came in later, but I think that was due to kind of parent night, trying to get everything organized. But I think it'll be a little more coordinated in the following weeks.
And now away from the Booster Club, I got to ask you one question as a dad. Andrew's tearing it up this year so far and through 2 games running. How much fun is it as a parent to sit there and watch? Is it fun in the moment? Is it nerve-wracking in the moment? What's it like being the dad there, watching Andrew go to work each Friday night?
Well, it's fun for me. I like to see him succeed. My wife gets a little antsy about him taking too many hits, but it's a lot of fun just to watch this team come together. The defense is playing really well. It's an overall team effort. I think we've got a really good team this year.
Next week is our bye week. Will there still be a Booster Club meeting on Monday at 6 p.m., or are we going to have a week off?
We'll go ahead and have a Booster Club meeting after the game, and then we won't have one the following week.
Okay, so next Monday night, 6 p.m. At the Field House, there will be a Booster Club meeting during the off week, and then after the off week, there will not be one. We'll have a week off there. So next Monday night, join us at 6 p.m. there in the Field House in the classroom area for the Booster Club meeting. Friday night, though, join us on the road at Margaritas there in Liberty Hill on the way out. And to come watch this Eagle team take on the Liberty Hill Panthers. It's going to be a battle. I think we're all on that same page. Eventually, this is going to be a district matchup. It's going to be just one for the ages each and every year, watching these 2 teams go to battle. And so Friday night we'll be live on SHN, 6:15 pregame, 7 o'clock. We'll go live with the kickoff. But come join us, white out the stadium there in Liberty Hill if you can join us. If not, man, several places around town. You can join at home on SHN. Hard Counts will have it live on one of their TVs while the game's being cast. And maybe, and I think if they haven't got it worked out, they're supposed to at some point over at Mesquite Creek. And so many places to go and be a part of this and watch this team perform. The effort that they are giving is just exhilarating each and every week. It's fun to watch. And so 7 o'clock Friday night live on SHN, live from Liberty Hill High School. We will bring you Liberty Hill against your Georgetown Eagles. Thanks for joining us tonight. What a great crowd here at the Golden Rule. Thanks to the Golden Rule for all they do. For Nina, our bartender back there, thank you so much again for being here. To Cody and to Tommy, the owners here, thank you so much for opening up and doing this for the boys and for this team. And so we appreciate it each and every week. We'll be back live next week for the Coaches Show, and then we'll probably have that week off with the Booster Club as well after the bye week. But thanks for joining us tonight. We'll close it off tonight live here from the Golden Rule, the Eagle Nation Coaches Show. Have a good week.